I would like to welcome everybody and to greet all of you. Let me appeal to you as brothers and sisters, because this is probably the most important title people can ever have. Being followers of Christ, respecting each other, loving each other. These are the values we indeed need, because Artsakh now is in a very difficult situation. It is, to some extent, in a process of classification, because now we are under constant pressure and attacks by different forces. We are very well aware of this third Karabakh war, the 44-day war, which actually resulted to devastating consequences for us. We lost around 80% of our territory. Several thousand people perished. The young generation, the genetic pool of our people. We lost a lot of economic infrastructure, a lot of assets. So now we are like a person who lost one of his legs, one of his arms, an eye, but who is still alive. If we are alive, it means that there is a chance to recover. This is why we are doing everything possible in this direction. Of course, we cannot do that on our own. We need support. First of all, support of the Armenian world, so to say. Mother Armenia, our diaspora, and of course our friends. One of the biggest assets of our people is that we have a lot of friends all over the world. Maybe this is the result of tragedies which happened to our people, genocides, massacres, persecutions, and the formation of Armenian diaspora, which is everywhere, basically. We consider this kind of meetings and discussions to be very important, because it gives an opportunity to raise important issues. The world is very much interconnected. And if something happens in one of the corners, even for a tiny country, and the rest of the world is neglecting or don't pay attention on that, it doesn't mean that this menace and threats will not come and knock the doors of other countries and states, especially now, because terror and radicalism are very much resilient. They can go everywhere. They can penetrate everywhere. This is why we have to stop them at any places where they have open aggression. I would like to thank His Holiness, Catholicos of all Armenians, Garegin II, for organizing this event. Armenian Apostolic Church, under his leadership, is always with Artsakh, and we feel this support every day, every hour. And I would like also to say that in spite of all these difficulties, we are still standing and we are resolute to continue our struggle to live. What we need is a very simple thing: to live on our own land. We don't want wars, we don't want to conquer anybody or anything. We just want to live on our own, to be free of persecutions and genocides. These kind of basic principles are now threatened all over the world. And maybe if the international community could demonstrate more principled attitude towards persecution, towards radicalism and terrorism, maybe millions of people in other corners of the world would survive. Now, Artsakh is recovering step by step. Of course, one of the most important things is to provide at least shelter to thousands of refugees and displaced people. Now, the state is, with the participation, of course, of Armenia, diaspora, many of our friends, the state is carrying out a project to build thousands of houses and apartments to provide them to people in need. But this is the first stage. We have to face other challenges too, to rebuild our economy, because, as I mentioned, we lost a lot of assets, territories, infrastructure. To preserve Armenians in Artsakh, because Azerbaijan, Turkey, and their allies are doing everything to influence the people of Artsakh to leave the country. This is why they are making different provocations, especially in the information field. They understand that large-scale war is now impossible because of the presence of Russian peacekeeping force there. Any attack on Artsakh would be automatically considered as an attack against Russian peacekeepers and Russia. This is why they cannot do that, and we appreciate very much and rate high the mission, the peacekeeping mission of the Russian Federation. This is actually one of the most important guarantees of Artsakh to survive. On the other hand, Artsakh is also a very specific geopolitical asset for the civilized world. If we are here, it's another geopolitical situation. If there will be no Artsakh, geopolitical situation will be dramatically changed with very unpredictable consequences for much greater space, not only Southern Caucasus, but also huge territory in Eurasia, Middle East, Eastern Europe, Central Asia, etc., etc. So there is a geopolitical interest of many countries that Artsakh remains as an entity. This is why we understand all of this, and what we have to do is to keep our status as geopolitical player, small but very important, for the entire Christian world too. You see, and for that we need to be a value, first of all, for Armenian people all over the world, and a value for our friends, for all the civilized community. First of all, the Christian world. But I have to underline that the Azerbaijani-Karabakh conflict is not a religious conflict, because terrorists and extremists, they don't have any religion. What they are doing is that they are degrading their own religion without understanding what is that. We have carried out several research, also in Muslim countries. And people who are very much radical, they don't know even the most important pillars, for example, of Islam. This is why our struggle is not a religious one. True Muslim cannot be radical as true Christian. This is why it's a challenge. It's something which resembles an eternal struggle between evil and between kind. This is why we think that we are carrying out a very important mission for the humanity. This is what we feel, being very small. But you know that this is also one of the pillars of Christianity and any religion, that size and quantity is not crucial. This is why I want to assure you that we are going to stand, we are going to serve our country and people, and one of the most important things here is faith. Unshakable faith is the guarantee of our survival, of our development. This is why we value very much such conferences. And we are ready to cooperate with the world. There are many techniques now which enables, through internet, through other ways of communication, to establish close and efficient cooperation. This is why I would like to say the following, that Artsakh is alive and will always be alive, irrespective of any difficulties and any perils and challenges. Thank you very much.